I spent most of my life feeling like a failure. No matter how much success I achieved, I never felt like it was enough. My reality never measured up to the image of perfection in my mind. And my accomplishments always paled in comparison to whoever I could find who had more and did it better. The harder I pushed myself, the more exhausted and discontented I felt. The more I chased my picture of success, the further away I felt from it. And eventually, I was just not able to mentally, physically, or emotionally keep up that pace anymore, and I felt incapacitated. And the result ended up being full-fledged burnout. And I was finally at the end of my rope, and that was when I was kind of forced to surrender. Surrendering was a process of letting go of my perfect picture that haunted me and the releasing of my trusty measuring stick that I carried around that tortured me all day and a redefining of what success really means to me. And it was a challenging and a scary time in my life. And relief and freedom did not come overnight for sure. Yet as I leaned into the time and I embraced it, I learned and immensely grew because of it. And I now refer to this season in my life as my season of undoing. It was my undoing. And what an incredible season it ended up being. And one of the most valuable pieces of wisdom that I learned as I embraced the season of undoing and recovered from burnout was this: that society teaches us to be driven to succeed. But God created us to live fueled by our passion. And here's the difference. And our culture programs us to strive and to hustle in pursuit of our own success and our own prosperity. Our fear and our perceived lack compel us to do and have enough so that we'll feel like we are enough. And we desperately seek to establish our own value and our own significance. We perform and we control to attain some sense of certainty and security. Our desire is to have all of those is wired in us by God, and it's very valid. So we're not wrong for wanting to have those things. Yet when our pursuit of them is driven by our fear of not having them, the result is always the same. In spite of all that we can ever achieve, in spite of all that we accumulate or attain, we end up feeling exhausted, overwhelmed, unfulfilled, and frustrated, and often burned out. And the truth is that we can never be or we can never do enough to quench our thirst for our significance and value. And we can't achieve or attain enough to fill that ache inside for certainty and security that we desperately want. When fear and lack are our motivators and our drive is the vehicle, we are propelled right into bondage. Yet God created us to live from our significance instead of trying to live so hard for our significance. And in Him, we can feel certain and secure in His generous, faithful provision, instead of striving and struggling to try to create a false sense of our own. And we're free to enjoy the prosperity that naturally follows being fueled by our passion and living out of our unique purpose, because experiencing the fullness of God's love will gently guide us back to our own hearts. You see, God's way for us is to live fueled by our passion and founded in our unique purpose. And when we follow His path, then prosperity naturally follows. So I ask you, how are you defining your success? And where is that leading you? Has your drivenness propelled you into a prison of your own making? Are you plagued with burnout? And if so, it's time to learn a new way to live. Decide today that you're going to get off the crazy train. And instead of being run by your fear, lean into and explore that deep yearning inside, because it will lead your way. Then commit to doing the inner work you need to do to reconnect with your heart, to heal the things that need to be healed, and recover your true self so that you can discover your passions and live from your purpose. Because that will set you free from your bondage so that you can cross over into your promises.